Everybody's supposed to get on the back, slide. That whole little poster is supposed to be on the back of the truck. Yeah. And I said, before they get on, let me just do a little test drive.
It was the kind of news story that made people stop and read twice. The headline seemed almost impossible to believe. Did Jason Statham really just say what people thought he said? And yes, he actually did. Jason Statham, the tough guy actor known for staying quiet and keeping his opinions to himself, had just named 5 actors he claimed to hate. Not dislike, not have problems with, but actually hate. This was shocking because Statham built his whole career on being the strong, silent type. He's the star of action movies like The Transporter, Crank, and The Expendables. These are high-energy films full of car chases, fights, and explosions. Statham usually plays characters who don't talk much, but get things done. In real life, he's known for being professional and not causing drama. So when he suddenly started naming names like he was calling out enemies, everyone paid attention. The interview happened during a press tour for his movie The Beekeeper. He was sitting in a fancy interview setup, wearing a dark suit, looking as serious as always. The whole thing was being broadcast internationally, so millions of people could see it. He wasn't drunk or caught off guard. This was a planned interview, and he chose to say exactly what he meant. What made this even more surprising was how it started. The interviewer wasn't trying to create drama or get him to say something controversial. They just asked a simple question about what kind of actors he liked working with. Statham answered that he preferred people who showed up on time and did their job professionally. He said he liked working with people who didn't make everything about themselves. But then something changed. Instead of leaving it at that, Statham kept talking. He said there were actors he had worked with or almost worked with who he couldn't stand. He called some of them a waste of space. The interviewer looked surprised, probably thinking this was just a joke or that Statham would move on to something else. But he didn't stop there. Statham looked straight at the camera and said he hated some actors, and he didn't care if saying so made headlines. Then he did something that almost never happens in Hollywood interviews. He actually gave names, 5 specific names of actors he claimed to hate. The first name he mentioned was Vin Diesel. This wasn't completely shocking to people who follow action movies closely, but it was still surprising to hear him say it out loud. Statham and Diesel had worked together in the Fast and Furious movies, especially in Hobbs and Shaw. During those movies, there were signs that the two actors didn't get along well. When they did interviews together for Hobbs and Shaw, things always seemed tense. Statham got along well with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who was also in the movie. They joked around and seemed to enjoy each other's company. But when Diesel was around, the mood changed. Sometimes Diesel didn't even show up to group interviews, and when he did, everyone seemed uncomfortable. Statham explained that working with Diesel was difficult because Diesel would show up late to filming. He would also demand that the script be changed to make his character look better or more important. Statham said it was like working with a teenager who happened to have a bodybuilder's body. This was a harsh criticism, especially coming from someone who usually keeps his opinions private. The second name Statham mentioned was Shia LaBeouf. This was unexpected, because most people didn't know that Statham and LaBeouf had ever planned to work together. Statham explained that they had been in talks for a movie project a few years earlier. The movie studio was excited about having both actors in the film, but Statham wasn't interested in working with LaBeouf. Statham told the studio that LaBeouf wasn't right for the project. When LaBeouf found out about this, he sent Statham a message that Statham described as unprofessional. Statham didn't say exactly what the message said, but anyone who knows about LaBeouf's reputation could probably guess it wasn't friendly. LaBeouf is known for having emotional outbursts and being difficult to work with. What bothered Statham most was that some actors want to be seen as tortured artists who suffer for their craft. Statham said he just wanted to do his job without dealing with someone having tantrums. This showed a big difference in how the two actors approach their work. Statham prefers to be straightforward and professional, while LaBeouf is known for his intense method acting and emotional behavior. The third name was Steven Seagal, And this one made some people laugh, because Seagal's reputation in Hollywood had already fallen pretty far. Seagal used to be a big action star in the 1990s, known for martial arts movies. But over the years, his reputation changed. Many people in the industry started seeing him as someone who took himself too seriously and made claims about his abilities that weren't true. Statham was particularly harsh about Seagal. He said that while he had trained seriously in martial arts for years, Seagal had turned martial arts into a joke. Statham accused Seagal of acting like he was as good as Bruce Lee, but without actually doing the hard work that Bruce Lee did. This criticism went beyond just personal dislike. It seemed like Statham was making a point about authenticity and hard work. Statham has always been known for doing his own stunts and training seriously for his action roles. Even in his early movies with director Guy Ritchie, like Lock, Stock, and Snatch, he brought a sense of realism to his tough guy characters. So when he criticized Seagal for being persuasive, it felt like he was defending the integrity of action movies in general. The fourth name was Jared Leto, and this surprised a lot of people. Leto is an Oscar-winning actor known for serious dramatic roles in movies like Dallas Buyers Club and Requiem for a Dream. He's also known for his extreme method acting, especially when he played the Joker in Suicide Squad. It seemed strange that Leto and Statham would ever work together, since they make very different types of movies. But Statham explained that they had almost worked together on a thriller movie that never got made. According to Statham, Leto approached the project like he was preparing to play a saint. He wouldn't break character, even during meetings about the movie. He wanted people to call him by his character's name instead of his real name. He wouldn't even shake hands, because he said it would be out of character. Statham found this behavior ridiculous. He pointed out that they were just in a coffee meeting to discuss the movie, not actually filming it. He said he didn't care how good an actor someone was on screen. If he had to babysit their ego just to make a movie, he wasn't interested. This showed another side of Statham's practical approach to filmmaking. He values professionalism over artistic pretension. The fifth and final name was Mark Wahlberg, and this one really shocked people. Statham and Wahlberg had actually appeared in the same movie before, The Italian Job in 2003. It was a popular heist movie with several big stars. Up until Statham's interview, no one knew there had been any problems between the two actors during that film. But Statham revealed that there had been tension even back then. He described Wahlberg as someone who walks into a room and makes everything about himself. According to Statham, Wahlberg would constantly crack jokes and make the film crew wait while he took phone calls about his various business projects, like his burger chain. What seemed to bother Statham most was what he saw as Wahlberg's fake tough guy act. Statham said Wahlberg played up his Boston working-class background, acting like he was still the character from movies like The Departed. But then Wahlberg would fly on private jets to give speeches at business seminars for his supplement company. Statham told him to spare everyone the working-class routine. The reaction to Statham's interview was immediate and huge. People couldn't believe that such a normally private actor had been so brutally honest about his colleagues. This wasn't just gossip or rumors. It was a direct, confident statement from someone who rarely spoke about personal conflicts. What made this so significant was how rare it is in Hollywood. Usually, actors are very careful about what they say in public. Everyone praises everyone else, even when there are problems behind the scenes. Actors will say that everyone they worked with was amazing and so talented, even when that's not true. There's an unspoken rule that you don't criticize other actors publicly. But Statham broke that rule completely. He didn't hedge his statements or try to soften them. He didn't say, "But they're still good actors," or "We just had creative differences." He was direct and harsh, which matched his on-screen personality perfectly. This honesty felt refreshing to many people because everyone suspected that actors sometimes hate working with each other, but no one ever admits it. Jared Leto's method acting has been mocked online for years. Steven Seagal's fall from grace has been well documented. Vin Diesel's controlling behavior on the Fast and Furious movies has been an open secret. Shia LaBeouf's emotional problems have often overshadowed his talent. And Mark Wahlberg, despite his success, has apparently annoyed plenty of people behind the scenes. Statham's willingness to speak ons made people wonder how many other actors walk around secretly hating their colleagues. How many times do actors smile and shake hands at red carpet events while actually not being able to stand each other? Hollywood is built on creating illusions, but maybe what people really want now is authenticity. In one interview, Jason Statham gave people exactly that kind of authenticity. He didn't rant or have an emotional breakdown. He just calmly stated his opinions like he was reading a shopping list. It was the kind of cold, surgical honesty that makes publicists nervous, but makes fans excited. The whole thing showed a different side of Statham. Instead of just being the quiet tough guy from his movies, he revealed himself as someone with strong opinions who isn't afraid to express them. He showed that he values professionalism and hard work above everything else, and that he has no patience for actors who he sees as fake or difficult. Whether you agree with his opinions or not, you have to respect his willingness to be honest. In an industry where everyone usually says what they think people want to hear, Statham said exactly what he thought. 5 names, 1 man, and no apologies. It was a moment of brutal honesty that cut through all the usual Hollywood politeness and gave people something real to talk about.